We're going to go over DTW. DTW means direct to work process. So drivers can schedule screenings and complete their online orientation based on their availability while still maintaining their regular routine. Once orientation is completed, drivers go directly to their work location for onboarding and account-specific training. Unlike other transportation carriers, drivers get to do their orientation from home. So in a normal situation, if you applied for a job in the trucking industry, you would get a bus ticket or a plane ticket from the company you were going to work for, and they would fly you out or put you on a bus to bring you to orientation. You'd have to stay in a hotel. A lot of the times you have to share a room with a driver you don't know. Then you sit in a classroom for 2 or 3 days before you can begin work. JB Hunt lets their drivers do all of these things from home. When a driver is scheduled for orientation, the date that you see they're scheduled for is actually their first day of work. By the time they get their orientation's already done. So the benefits of DTW are they don't have to travel to a JB Hunt terminal for orientation. There's no overnight hotel stays. They get to take drug tests at the lab nearest them for their convenience, and they do paid online training. So how the process works, the applicant is scheduled through our regular schedule line when you call them in. Contact will be made from direct-to-work coordinators to the driver. If the driver has not been contacted in 24 hours, the driver can email dtw.support@jbhunt.com. The DTW email and DTW phone number are for drivers only. Recruiters can never email or call into that. Priority is given to drivers who are needing a drug screen within the next 48 hours. Results of the drug screen can take as long as 5 days and can delay a start date. So they prioritize drug tests by start dates. As soon as a driver is scheduled, they'll need to sign their verification release form to start the DTW process. Release forms need to be signed within 24 hours of the driver getting scheduled. Drivers will send in copies of their CDL front and back and their medical card to dtw.support@jbhunt.com. So within the first 24 hours of your driver getting scheduled, they need to sign the releases JB Hunt sent to their email and send in a picture of their medical card and driver's license front and back. Next, drivers will receive their login information and will go to initial paperwork link and sign their drug and alcohol release form. They should then start their training modules, which are videos we require to complete prior to showing to work. During the video assessments, they can expect to review as many as 28 videos covering various subjects. All videos should take about 5 total hours. They can see how many videos are left to complete, and there is a tab called Lesson History that shows the titles and videos completed. Completion of the videos is required before they can start. Drivers should stay in contact with the DTW coordinators no less than every 2 days. The drivers can call the phone number here, which is the main line for drivers only. Drivers can also email their DTW coordinator every 48 hours to stay in touch to avoid getting rejected for no contact. Drivers get rejected for no contact because they're getting paid already to do orientation from home. So 2 days of no contact is the same as a no call, no show, basically. So step 1, drivers will electronically sign disclosure and authorization forms for background check initiation. Step 2, they will email images front and back of their CDL and their most recent DOT medical card. Step 3, they have to complete online training within 72 hours of assignment. Step 4, they need to electronically sign completed background check within 24 hours of request. That's pretty much it for how it works. Now, when you get a driver scheduled, within 1 hour of you seeing that they've been scheduled, you need to call or text the driver and say, "Congratulations on your new job. Please remember to sign the releases JB Hunt sent to your email and to send in pictures of your medical card and driver's license front and back." Now, for the up until the driver's show date, you need to call the driver every other day or text them or email, whatever the driver prefers, and follow them along the way. This gives you a pretty good rule of thumb of what your driver is going to go through. So the first day, you make sure step 1 and 2 are done. When you call back the next time, you want to ask if the driver scheduled their drug test and started their training videos. The next time you call back, you want to make sure that the driver has completed their training videos and that they're getting ready for their drug test. And then the next time you call back, you want to make sure the driver completed and passed their drug test. Then the next time you call back, you want to make sure that the driver has completed their background check and signed it. At that point, once the driver's done everything, all that's left to do is for them to show up. So you just want to keep touching base with your driver to make sure that they're staying in contact with JB. If you have a no-show, call or text your driver and see if you can get them rescheduled. Sometimes things can come up and they don't know that they can just reschedule their orientation, so you can help them push that date out, because them going to orientation later rather than never is going to be better for you. The same with no contact. If you have a driver that shows attention no contact or rejected for no contact, as long as you can get them back on the phone with JB, then you can still get them scheduled. If you have a driver that's outright rejected or doesn't show up for no contact, no show, for the next 48 hours you have application ownership. So if that driver calls themselves back in, the credit will still go to you. If on the 49th hour another recruiter calls them in, you will no longer have that driver assigned to you. So you want to make sure if you get no contacts, reconnects, or no shows, that you're really aggressive to make sure that you get that driver back in. You need to set up a follow-up schedule for yourself based on this process and how things work, and go ahead and get yourself a little script written of what you're going to say every time you call a driver to make sure everything's good. If you stick to it, you should never have a problem with follow-ups. They'll be few and far between. If you're kind of all over the place, your hires will be too. So it helps to be organized and to manage your time and to come up with a schedule of what you're going to say and when you're going to say it with each one of your drivers. As far as DTW goes, that's pretty much it. It's pretty easy.